No second chances, no support, and nowhere to go but the finish line. Day and night, non-stop, racing the clock as much as they race themselves. Across 4 continents and countless challenges. The ultimate prize is simply surviving. The journey, the tears, and the triumphs. Welcome to Wild Races. Costa Rica continues to push our teams far beyond their limits. Is this truly an adventurous paradise? One of the world's most diverse and colourful ecosystems now presents some extremely rare challenges to our teams. Never before in Wild Races have our athletes covered so much varied terrain and endured so many extremes. What lies ahead blows this race apart and brings on a new level of competition. Surviving the heat, Team Technew gained valuable time with other teams grouped tightly in a race for minor positions. Team Merrill from Denmark dropped back and are suffering in this foreign climate. With tidal levels fluctuating a huge 8 metres, the next 43-kilometre kayak is more about timing than endurance. Add tropical heat and changeable winds and another tough leg ahead.
Depending on the tides and some channels here in the mangroves, that when it's dry, low tide, you get stuck for 6 hours in sand. But I think we can make it. So if we do that, we should be able to save some hours. They're fishermen here, so they know that I asked them about the tides and if I go by in a kayak and if there's half a meter of water enough for a kayak to go by, and they told me, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. So, but I don't want to risk it. We go as soon as possible.
We weren't going to sleep, but then decided that our pace was just too slow and we had to stop. 10 minutes is what we had, and then we sped up our pace and made it here, but that opened a gap for Bones, and so they left about 5 minutes ago. And yeah, we'll go chase, see what happens.
We're gonna change our strategy. I think sleep a little more in the day and less in the night. The heat made us make a lot of mistakes with orienting because we are not concentrated, and little mistakes and so big consequences.
The wrong way, and we've been paddling against the current and the wind for
4 hours against the wind and the current. It's the toughest thing I've ever done in my life in adventure racing. Toughest by far. We just lost another position. That drained us. It was super tough. Super tough. You can see it right there, the wind and the waves. 4 foot waves. You're going against the waves. There was a point where we thought we were never going to make it.
And they said that now is the worst part next. And we're already so tired.
Kept falling asleep. It's hard paddling through the night. It's monotonous. It puts you to sleep. It's the same relaxing motion. It's not like biking or trekking.
Trouble in paradise, with many teams learning a healthy respect for the heat and wind.
We did know that we could push it harder than we originally thought we could, and we did. We would constantly, pump ourselves up and say, let's go a little harder. I have a few blisters, or my shoulders, or there's pain, but you can still push it a little harder.
We got the wind, the current, everything bad that could happen, we got it.
That's what happens when we're paddling.
The race is made for the tough teams, and here is a good way to measure how tough or how good you're doing. It's all normal. It's good. I think it's the other teams who have been training. They can compare themselves with Tecno, who come from a different training range. Like the other teams, you can tell by the amount of hours separate from one team to the second team. You have to plan, check the tides, see when you're going to be doing the hikes, and all this is not so that go, go, go. You have to think about what you're going to do, because you have to dosificate the deterioration of your body throughout the entire race.
We didn't sleep last night. We went straight through. We took a little 45-minute nap over at before the kayaking, but it was not enough. Yeah, and Danny and I seem to have picked up a little bit of the flu or something. I have a really bad sore throat, and he has the sniffles. We really need to rest a bit. It's time for us to take a good rest, and we're thinking about an hour and a half rest. And so we're trying to just schedule what we want to do here so that we're all in sync.
So I think I got something, man. I'm not feeling good. I'm fever, but I gotta be fine. I'm gonna be okay. Just give me 5 minutes.
The challenging conditions yet again spread our field, with Tecno building on their lead, though a tight battle is forming mid-pack. With nightfall comes cooling temperatures and a chance for lost time to be made up. The next 138-kilometre mountain bike is one of the most harsh and brutal legs of this journey. Temperatures may have certainly dropped, but the darkness conceals steep grades and never-ending traverses. Already at their limits, it's crucial for teams to work together, as this is where the real race begins, where human endurance faces the mental strength to push through immeasurable odds.
Actually planning on going a different way. We asked the local down in the town, and he said this way was faster. So we switched up. Here we are now.
One of the secrets to today's success was a giant bottle of Canada Dry ginger ale.
We've had either bones in front of us, or behind us, or buff in front of us, or behind us, or, you know, all the other teams pushing to be in front of us.
Daybreak, and teams now push hard to get through the heat.
Yeah, that's the objective, to get to mid-camp as fast as we can.
Adventure begins when the unexpected happens. The unexpected just happened. We lost third place to Buff. So now we're gonna have to go catch him.
It gets worse when it starts to get hot and humid. You feel like you want to go to sleep immediately, but we've stopped a couple of times to get some minutes because mid-stop was too far ahead. So trying to get there without sleep, you either go super fast or you're super foolish.
Soaring temperatures and hot winds make even the most basic of tasks near impossible. In these conditions, refuge is hard to find.
And now it's so difficult to climb it because our legs and our feet are not so good.
We're beating ourselves up, and hopefully we can then maintain. Other teams might be having a chill approach, maybe taking the heat of the day easy. We come on hard later in the race, and our approach is to go really hard here, so we'll see how it pans out.
on the track that we chose. I'm not sure if it was the better one anymore.
My feet are up. Just feel everything hurts so bad.
This race is very grueling, very hard. The climatic part of it is just so tough. It's relentless.
After a short transition to resupply, the teams now hit a wall. Another 50-kilometre mountain bike, this time with even more elevation.
Buff has a good reputation and is the world champion.
Persistence has paid off, with North Face digging deep to make up lost positions. But has it pushed them too far?
Buff is chasing us.
Buff is chasing us.
Yeah, which is a change of scenery. We were chasing them, now they're chasing us.
Buff is pretty close, but it's always more comfortable to know that there's no one around you.
This is, I think, the first time in an AR event where we have pushed it so hard to be at the top that we have tested ourselves beyond what we thought capable.
The experience of Teknu has enabled them to extend their lead, with North Face moving up into a top 3 position, though Bones are closing in.
Out of reach, but there's a big race between us and North Face right now, so let's see what we can do.
You slip up in the heat for even 10, 15 minutes and you don't have liquids in you and you're not on top of it, things can go downhill really fast.
It's really nice to see when you have the same team more than just for one race. You know, like it's their second race together, so it's that much better.
Ideal conditions to racing is probably 15 to 20 degrees Celsius and nice and cool, but this is totally unique, this environment.
For some, it's now just too tough.
We crashed on the mountain bike and wasn't able to keep up any pace at all. In the end, we was moving very slow, so we cut the cutoff time. The whole thing's been brutal. It's been burning hot. I mean, even if your legs wanted to go, the heat just pushed you down.
Finally off the bikes and onto an almost half-marathon trek for 21 kilometres. This terrain now confronts our teams with even more challenges.
And race this long, there's still 2 days left. You never know what can happen if someone gets injured or sick. Heat exhaustion is really worrisome in these conditions. It could take someone out for 6 hours before they're recovered, and it's on again. So if you're feeling all right, you gotta push. Always push. Can't leave it to chance. To be a bit more efficient, we'll keep walking with the pack while the washroom, no running, catch up. This way we're never standing still, we're always trying to get to
When I learned this race, I needed to drink a lot more than I thought. I thought, a liter an hour was max, but after the first day, there was no limit to how much water I could drink.
So last day, I had the same problem of crying the first day. I think I got too dehydrated, and I started to be like, each couple of minutes I was peeing.
Last night it was mostly sleep monsters. I couldn't stay awake. I started dreaming instantly while riding the bike. I just couldn't stay awake. So yeah, we lost touch with the map a couple times and just cost us a bit of time here and there.
Day 3. We just left the transition area, currently in second position. North Face is a couple hours behind us.
Going on a 54-hour no sleep streak. Probably not the best idea, but hey, we're moving now.
Techni is only 10 hours ahead of us.
Actually, they're 7.5.
Oh, only 7.5.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Trying to get around that mountain. Road I'd drawn in from a supplementary map going that way. Hope it turns left up ahead. So we're just trying to get to the canyon before dark because it'll be really slow in the canyon once the sun goes down.
Technu's hard efforts pay off. Finally, some respite from the heat.
It's like 5:15 right now, so we're trying to get in here as quick as we can. You can see it's getting dark, and this will be a lot slower in the dark, so we're just trying to get here as quick as we could. For the last hour or two, we've been going a little bit harder than we normally would. Looks like we might have just enough time. There's about 2K after the rappel where we have to stay in the canyon for a while, so we'll see how it goes.
Oh, it's like a little bit of a break, you know, and you get to do something that's really fun.
Got much better, my feet got better, but still it was a long track, so our feet are pretty beat up. Let's see, now it's less tracking, much more pedaling, and we are really confident with our pedaling skills.
What it is for me is I'm constantly amazed by the endless energy that our bodies have. And we're just endurance animals and we can go forever. So I just get a real kick out of that to see what my body can do. Like we haven't stopped moving now since Wednesday at 12:30, and we started the race at 8 o'clock on Monday and only had a couple hours of sleep the night before that, and we're still going. It's amazing what we can do when you just put your mind to it. And people say to me, oh, you're so hardcore. I'm like, you know what? I'm just stupider than the average person out there.
Bones now pushing even harder to extend the time gap.
Yeah, we went a full 54 hours without sleep. Not wise.
Oh, we've had a few errors. Lapses mostly due to fatigue, getting careless when you haven't slept for 50 some odd hours. You just kind of blank out, you miss a turn, realize you've gone a kilometer or so in the wrong direction, before you kind of snap out of it. So I think just because we've spent a lot of time not sleeping in this race, it's probably been a worse variation, at least from my perspective. You get that tired, you just kind of zone in and out a lot. And these guys saved me last night. Heat and dehydration, I was in a really bad way. And they were carrying my bag, feeding me food, towing me, kept me going.
Part of biking we were very sleepy, so it took a long time, but doctor gave us some treatment because our feet are in bad condition. So after a good sleep we started pretty good today's trekking. There are good moments and bad moments.
Adds excitement to the whole experience. Gets us motivated, which is good this late in the race. Oftentimes you're just in a zone, a zombie zone, just to get through it. But when you got guys that are racing here, it makes it exciting.
Technu now maintaining their lead, with Bones' no sleep strategy gaining them second position. Our other teams struggling in the harsh conditions.
It's been a long night. Some challenging team dynamics. We got illnesses and thrown up, and I think it was all the heat. Finally got. Anyway, I think everybody feels pretty good right now, except for our feet.
Right now, trying to stay as cool as possible. In the heat of the day, pace is slowing down a bit because of the heat, and the wear and tear. We wouldn't be able to push that fast the whole time.
We seem to be hitting a lot of what seem to be some of the most beautiful parts during the night, which kind of makes it a little bit tougher. But this with the sun coming up, walking through the jungle has been really cool. The beautiful trees and monkeys and lava and mud, volcano stuff.
With fatigue working its way through the core of our competitors, something had to give. And yet again, this brutal course hits hard.
What's gonna happen, you never know. What has just happened to us is, a true testament to what adventure racing is about. You go out expecting the best and just giving it all, and enjoy the adventure, enjoy the unexpected. We have a really, really strong unity in our team. Luckily, we all look out for each other. It's like a brotherhood. Thanks to that is why we are where we are right now.
Team Technu now extend their lead, with Bones discovering new limits to consolidate their position. Our other teams face the brutal reality of this extreme adventure. Next week, we head into the canopy of this stunning landscape as the remaining teams push through some of the most technical legs yet seen in wild races. This is an adventure of the grandest scale, and in all journeys, almost anything can happen.
Green snakes, orange snakes, yellow snakes.